everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. In the air, not on the air. That other guy, I don't know what he's doing. So, welcome to episode 13, season 4. I hope you've been enjoying everything so far. If this is your first time watching the show, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. So, I have a little truncated, trashy hood today. I had 3 or 4 photos, and I only have one somehow that made it, even though I forwarded it and then I made the mistake of deleting it from my phone before double checking that it got sent correctly. So I only have one. So it's gonna be truncated, which is fine because I'm gonna try to make this in 30 minutes again. So let's see how we do. So here is Trashy Hood. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood. Hey everybody, so this was week 37, day 3, and you can see there's a lot of mess here. Not as bad as some days, but this is interesting. There was a whole windshield wiper fluid jug right on the corner of the street there as we went down it. Cigarette butts as always, paper receipts, pieces of plastic, pieces of harder plastic that are from like weed eaters, and bits of rubber and hard metal and other bits of plastic and more sheets of cardboard and receipts and all that. So, and then some empty poo bags, like someone pulled it out and then it fell out of their pocket. At least that's what I'm hoping. So even in one day, it was still a lot. So there was your Trash in the Hood truncated because I messed up on a couple of photos. But I do appreciate people asking me more about it, and I seem to be having a good amount of people viewing it on nextdoor.com, which is great. So if you can get out there and do your bit for King and Country, so to speak, actually the neighborhood, then more power to you. So that's something that we should all try to do when we can. And I'm just saying when we can. So don't try to make a big deal about it, and don't make it seem like I'm telling you to do anything, because I'm not. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, I'm still going to do it, and I don't care whether people critique my prowess or not on picking up stuff. So I try to also pick up as much as I can. There are times when there are huge boxes, like cartons or something like that have been flattened by the traffic, and I'm just not able to get those. There's also times when there are poo bags full, and I am not going to pick those up. They are, I consider them to be a health hazard. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if there's any on the outside of the bag, and so I am not going to mess with organic material like that. But I find it kind of sad that if you take the time to pick up your dog's leavings and put them in a bag that probably won't degrade for 50 to 100 years, why throw it back down on the ground? Why not throw it into the nearest trash can, or the trash cans that are provided by the neighborhood that are where you get the poo bags in the first place? So I don't think everybody's buying small black bags, the exact same type that the neighborhood uses. No. So they have to be stopping to get the bag, and where you get the bag is a trash can. So, and they're far apart enough that you don't have to go, oh, I don't want to go back because that's not my route. There'll be another one shortly. So, especially throughout the neighborhood on Main Street. So, there's no excuse. If you're going to leave it there and you're going to be that kind of person, not much I can do. But if you're going to bag it, at least throw it away. I mean, I find a lot of poo bags and I don't pick them up, but I see a lot that are on Hatch and El Salito and 620, and sometimes even other roads like Texas Oakway and stuff like that. So don't appreciate it, and I'm not going to pick it up. So if you see me walk by a bag, pretty sure that it's because it's full. So, okay, so we're now going to move into our bottom line, and we're going to talk about mortgage rates. So here's bottom line. Dark Frog Social Media presents Bottom line, mortgage rates. Woe is me. Hey everybody, welcome to Bottom Line. So I have an interesting one for us today that I'm hoping will um, garner some conversation along with some pros and cons of what I'm doing here. So I read an article this week that talks about how people are upset now. They say it's a blessing and a curse, but they're upset now because their mortgage rates are sitting at 3%, around 3%. Let me say that again. There's some people out there that are upset because their mortgage rates are at 3%. So, what does that mean? Why are they complaining about 3%? So here's the deal. Before the housing crisis happened, this little minor one that we're talking about, and before real estate prices were going through the roof, and before inflation was happening, mortgages were hitting an all-time low. It had been a long time since they had been down there. If you had an opportunity, you bought a house and you were locked into a 3% rate of 3%, meaning between 3 and 4% is what this article was talking about. Or you were able to refinance and get down into the 3 to 4% range. So that is a good thing. The lower the percentage you can get so that you have to pay less interest on your house loan, on any loan really, but we're talking house loans, is a good thing. However, fast forward now to 3 or 4, or in some cases, according to the article, even 5 years, we have people that are complaining. And they are saying it's a curse and a blessing. So it's a blessing because it's between the 3 and 4% range, which is what you want when you're trying to get a house. I mean, if you can get under 3%, then you're just fantastic. But 3 to 4% is outstanding in the first place. The problem comes is that now they want to move. So because they want to move, they cannot find a house that's going to have a mortgage rate of the same. It's going to be somewhere between 6 to 7%. That's what we're sitting at right now. So their complaint is that they're locked into the house that they have 3%. And I don't mean to be rude, but I just want to say, wah, wah. Yes, you have a house at between 3 and 4%. People would give their right eye right now to be able to find a house where they could get 6%. I mean, 3%, around 3%. They would kill for that. So you're stuck. You're stuck having to wait a few years. Well, it turns out that people do not plan accordingly. So you knew your house was locked in at 3% and you were enjoying it. Then all of a sudden, life happened. Maybe you had another child. Maybe you had a child. Maybe you got some more pets. Maybe you have to take on, your aging parents or your aging grandparents. And now the room is a little tight. Well, you know what? You're going to have to suck it up because you're not going to find a house right now that has an interest rate of 3%. Or you may be able to if you can put down 50%. So the article goes on and talks about how these people, and in every case that the article posted about, was those talking about a blessing and a curse, because one's saying, well, I went from a family of 3 to a family of 4, and we're growing by the seams, and we don't have enough room in our house. Again, wah. Suck it up. I know I had a brother that we lived in the same bedroom for years, and our 2 sisters lived in the same bedroom for years, and that's what you do. You make room for it. So my parents couldn't afford to get another house at that time, so there was no that we didn't even talk about it, or wasn't even talked about that I know of. It was just you live in the house with 6 people in a house that's not really meant for 6, unless you want everybody to have their own room, and then it's really not meant for 6. So these people that are complaining that their house is too cheap now because their interest rate was 3%, are saying that they don't know what to do because they can't get a bigger house and they can't afford a bigger house at this time anyway, but they really can't afford it at 6% interest because it's going to have them paying off a lot. Their mortgage rate is going to be a lot higher than their mortgage rate is now. Well, yes, that's correct. That's how things work. Maybe they didn't take a course in economics in high school or college or anything like that, but the choices that you made help decide some of these things. You decide you want to have children, and I'm totally happy for you to do that. Mazel tov, enjoy, but deal with the consequences. Say you have one dog and you want to take on 2 or 3 dogs, and now your house has become a pack house, and you no longer have the quiet solitude that you wanted. Suck it up. That's how it is. The choices were yours to make in the first place. So I'm not saying get rid of your kids. I'm not saying get rid of your dogs. If that's what makes you happy, then keep them. But you have to also make sure that you understand that by taking on that, you may not have as big a house as once you thought you had. So the bottom line is, the lower the mortgage, the better it is for you in the long run. If you're frozen, live in that house and enjoy it, and don't be miserable, be happy, and that's the bottom line. Hey everybody. So that was our bottom line. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, thoughts, suggestions, please drop me a line. You can go to my YouTube channel, Javier In The Air. My tagline is Javier In The Air 01. Or you can reach me on Facebook if you have me, Instagram, just about anything that you can think of. I'm probably on there in some way, shape, or form. So not Twitter anymore. And you can reach out to me and give me your thoughts, comments, or suggestions. If you'd like to be on the show, you have something you'd like to talk about, something you're passionate about, barring the two that I always talk about, just reach out to me and I will definitely get you on the show. I will be having Crazy Stacy once again, who's been on just about every year that I've been doing the show. Actually, she has been on every year that I've been doing the show. Talk a little bit about the craft fair coming up in May. So now we're going to go to our Zen Moment, and then we have a Healthy After 50, and then we have a wrap up with a special spirit time. So let's go to our Zen Moment. right, and there you have our Zen moment for the day, for the week, and hope you enjoyed it. So, if you have any questions or concerns or comments about any portion of the show, like I said before, just reach out and let me know. I always welcome feedback. So, now we're going to move on to our Healthy After 50 segment, which I've gotten a lot of feedback about and I enjoyed it. So, let's check it out. Dark Frog Social Media presents Healthy After 50. Hey everybody, welcome to another section called Healthy After 50. So I've gotten some good feedback on this, and a lot of people that are talking about how they themselves are trying different things to try to stay healthy after 50. I know my neighbors do a great gardening job. They have fantastic green thumbs. All my garbage seems to be dying, and anything they plant in the ground comes up fantastic for them. So, but good for them nonetheless. So some of the feedback I got was that people love to enjoy to go walking. They are not like me, and they like to go to different parks around where they live and go and walk in the park. Sometimes it's a drive, sometimes it's right around the corner for them, but they like to go. Other people have talked to me about doing weights, and they are doing weights, which I totally am all for. You should definitely try to do some weights. Caution, of course, as to how heavy you go. If you're used to lifting weights, then by all means go as heavy as you know how to go. If you've never done weights before, start out very, very, very light, and over time you'll see that you'll be able to increase. But you want to go light so that you don't get hurt, and then you're back to square one because you're out and unable to do anything for weeks at a time. So we have that. Let's see, what was the other one? Well, one wasn't about healthy after 50, it was about my hair, so we'll talk about that later. So on this episode, on this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about breathing techniques or something along the lines of Tai Chi. So I talked about yoga before, and I think I talked a little bit about Tai Chi before as well. And I want to come back and focus on that, is that we want to talk about our breathing. So as we get older, we have a tendency to breathe shorter. And also we have, any illnesses or things that come up so that our breathing starts being short and labored. So if you're getting out there and you're getting out there to walk, then you need to be sure and try to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and you try to set that cadence for yourself. And you may find that you're going to find yourself winded, even though you may not have been walking hard or a long distance. And that comes to show that your lung power may be diminished in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you were a long time smoker and you gave that up recently. Maybe you're still a long time smoker. Maybe you had pneumonia, various bouts over your lifespan, and so they've left scar tissue on your lungs. Maybe that you have some other issue that you have where your breathing has been impacted by something. So the best thing that you can do is get out there and breathe through your nose, out through your mouth, and anything and everything you do. And as you start doing that, and I know I'm consciously doing it right now, if you start doing that, you'll notice that you'll be able to really deal better with your lung capacity, lung control. You won't find yourself as winded over time. You won't find yourself going somewhere and you're out of breath, which always feels bad because I know to me personally, it feels like a sign of weakness, even though there may be some underlying issue. So if you can use something like deep breathing techniques from yoga, deep breathing techniques from Tai Chi, or just sit there sometimes and count to 10, each inhale and exhale being counted as one. And don't hold it, but just do a nice, in count for 3, out count for, or in count for 4, out count for 3. Always one less on the exhalation. You'll find that sooner or later you're going to have much better ability to breathe. You'll feel better. And also breathing through your nose catches a lot of things. It's a filter. So you might actually have some good things as well. And then you'll start noticing as you start doing this over time, you'll notice that your body has now started doing that on its own, and you may find yourself even sleeping better. So think about it while you breathe in and you breathe out. Thanks a lot, everyone. Okay, everybody, so we're gonna try to, I'm still trying my best. I got about 6.5 minutes, so I'm gonna see what I can do. We're gonna go straight into our spirit time, a special episode where we being myself and brother Rob, were not in my house, and we were actually out at Brewtique. So here's that, and then I'll come back and wrap up everything. So here we go. Dark Frog Social Media presents Spirit Time. This week, the Brewtique. So we're finally back to the Brewtique in quite some time. So I want to thank Scott for being out there. Him and his son were running the place. And so I started out, or we, brother Rob and I, started out with AleSmith Speedway Stout Hawaiian Edition, which used Hawaiian coffee. That came in about a 12.3 ABV. So another AleSmith one. This is their barrel-aged Vietnamese coffee stout. Really good. I think this one was like a 14, if I'm not mistaken. Heavy duty. Here's another shot of it up close with a couple of my fingerprints all over the place. Really, really good. The coffee, the Vietnamese coffee came in really strong, but perfect for this stout itself. And then we tried Equilibrium's Mobius, which was an American porter. And at the very bottom it says beer balanced by science. So I really like the look of this can, so I got it for that reason, and it turned out it was pretty decent overall, and a fantastic looking can, by the way. Way to go, Equilibrium. So then I switched to Tups, one of my favorite breweries. Tups Dive Bar Brunch. This was an imperial stout. It was a little bit lighter than I thought it would be. It came in about a 6.7, but light as an overall taste. So I probably should have started with this rather than do it down the line compared to all the other stouts and porters I was drinking. And then we have Save the World. So this is Save the World. This is their triple. So this company was recently bought out by another mom and pop brewery, and so they're trying some new things. It was good. Light, again, I probably should have started with this first. Brother Rob really enjoyed it. It was pretty good overall. So that was our trip to the Brewtique. There you have it, everyone. Some people say, Javier, why do you sacrifice yourself so much for spirit time by drinking all those different types of beers and wines and spirits? And I really do it for you guys. It's not for me. No, I really do it for you all so that you can have a smattering of different choices as you go to places like the Brewtique, or you go out to drink one day with friends and family, and you want to try something new, and you're like, that guy Javier, he showed me a couple of things that I'd like to try, and I see it here on the menu, so let's try it. Or if you happen to go out to the Brewtique, then you can say hi to Scott or Jana and tell them that you saw or heard about them on the show, and that you'd like to try some things. Scott is very, very, very knowledgeable. He knows all the beers that are in his store. He knows all about them and can give you a good breakdown. You can tell him that you've only ever drank that swill that we all know and have had at some point in our time and no longer drink. And he'll lead you to something light and then work your way up if you're interested. Now, if you're a connoisseur or beer-asseur and you want to start trying something new, but you like porters or you like coffee stouts, you can go to Scott and say, Scott, show me what you got when it comes to coffee stouts, and he will show you 12 to 14 at least. I guarantee he will, because I know I saw 12 or 14 while I was there. So there's definitely a lot of that particular style. Plus, he'll talk to you about it, as long as they're not super busy, so that he's not jam packed. Go in on an off time. Brother Rob and I were there about 1-ish on a Saturday afternoon. Perfect time to go in there, play some pinball, drink some beer, hang out, and enjoy. And in fact, there was a crowd of a pack of 7 or 8 people that came in shortly before we left, and they were having a great time. So they may go on a regular basis there. I don't know, but they were enjoying it. So if you don't want to go by yourself, take a friend, take more than a friend, take a whole pack, and they will serve you up right. Okay, so that's it. I'm under 30. I'm pretty sure I'm under 30. So I did it finally, or did it again. I hope you enjoyed listening to me and watching me on the show, Javier in the Air. And if you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to be on the show, just reach out to me and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So I hope everyone is having a good egg day. And I will have something special next week in honor of Egg Day. And you'll see what I mean next week. So I hope everybody will be here. Plus, I'm doing a brunch next week. So I think that's going to go over well. The first brunch of 2023. So let's see how it goes. And let's see who comes. So, all right, everyone, have a good one. I'll see you all next week.